Welcome back, everyone. We are going to be doing a update right now on the Sean P Diddy Combs trial. We've been waiting until now to find out what exactly the judge is going to decide in his case. We want to know if he's getting out and going home with his family in Miami today, or if he's going back to federal detention and going to have to wait his stay until his sentencing hearing. Both sides, the prosecution and the defense, had to make a brief. They presented it to the judge. I'll go through it here in a second for you while we're waiting. But basically, prosecution wants him to stay in detention until his hearing. And of course, defense wants him to go home. So we are just waiting to find out. If you are just catching up today, Diddy was charged with 5 counts. Today, he was found guilty of 2, the lesser 2, and not guilty on 3. He was found not guilty of the RICO charge, which is racketeering, a criminal enterprise. He was found not guilty on the trafficking charges, the sex trafficking charges, and he was found guilty of the transportation for means of paid sex. He did get found guilty on 2 of those counts. One was for Cassie and one was for Jane. That is it. So now we're waiting. He's going to be sentenced at some point. Hopefully we'll find the date out today. But we are waiting for trial to start again. The hearing for his bail is about to happen. They were expected back at 5 p.m. Eastern, and we just had an update that the family has just arrived. So it says, Combs' mother and children have just returned to the courthouse in 2 large vans as they wait to see whether he will be released or remain in federal custody. Police are out in the street directing traffic around a crowd of onlookers and journalists gathering outside as the courthouse awaits the possibility of Combs walking out. They shut the streets down. There was major chaos going on there today. They had people dumping baby oil all over themselves, screaming, free puff. They had people fighting in the streets. The people that were for and against were having words and then getting into scraps. Like, the whole thing's been crazy. We're going to go through a bunch of the updates. Court has not started yet, so we'll go through what exactly is expected and what exactly both sides have put in so far for prosecution and defense. It's crazy. Okay, so the first thing, we had a formal letter handed in by the defense. Let me find it here for you guys. Okay, here it is. This is what defense was asking. His attorneys formalized their request to have Combs released on a secured $1 million bond, and this was co-signed by 3 people, and the 3 people are his mother, his sister, and his eldest daughter. So all 3 of them would be responsible, basically, for Diddy if he's released. Their letter insists that Combs has been a model prisoner over the last 9 months that he's been in federal detention. They said he poses no flight risk. They said that they're asking for a bail package that would include Combs agreeing to surrender his passport and be restricted to travel to his homes, which would be Florida, California, New York, and New Jersey. I don't know why he should be allowed to go to those 4 states just because he has homes there. Like, pick one and stay. But that's what they're asking for. They were quoted in the letter as saying, Mr. Combs stands convicted of 2 Mann Act counts, so that's transportation for paid sex, and his sentencing exposure is substantially lower than when the government initially sought detention. The court should release Mr. Combs on the proposed conditions. So this is what the defense was trying to say. The bail hearing was set for 5 p.m. Eastern time, which is now 9 minutes ago. Now, it probably will run a little bit late. It usually does. So we're just waiting for an update here. I'll let you know as soon as one comes in. But we have a lot of updates since then that I want to share with you guys. So obviously Combs is looking for less time in jail now. The max he can get is 20 years if they run it consecutively and not, sorry, hold on. If they run it concurrently. If they run it consecutively together, it's going to be less time. It's extremely rare, apparently, for them to run them one sentence and then the next. It's more common to put them together and serve a chunk of time, which isn't looking good for people that want him to serve more time. Let's see. Oh, yes, we had some letters written that I wanted to share with you guys. So if you watched the trial or watched any of our reports on here, if you go to my Sean P. Diddy Combs file, you can get caught up on everything. but a former stylist of Sean Combs and Cassie's, his name is Deontay Nash, urged that they keep Combs in custody and sent a letter about it saying that he's allegedly still a serious and immediate threat to victims, witnesses, and the broader community. Now, prosecutors have also asked the judge for Combs to remain in jail until he awaits sentencing. But Nash testified, as you guys remember, that he actually witnessed, my light just died, I'm gonna have to replace it, just a sec, that he witnessed Combs physically abusing Cassie Ventura. So he actually saw this happening. Hold on 2 seconds. I gotta get my backup light. That tells you how long I've been online today if my ring lights are already dying. You know, it's been a bit. Okay, so Nash wrote the letter, and this is what he said. Many of us have firsthand knowledge of the fear he instills in those around him. I can say without hesitation that he is a serious and immediate threat to victims, witnesses, and the broader community. His pattern of violence, particularly while engaged in the trafficking of individuals for prostitution, combined with unchecked substance abuse, makes it clear that he is not ready to re-enter society safely or responsibly. So that was from Deontay Nash, the stylist who testified on the stand, everything that he had seen. Cassie's attorney also wrote a letter. Now, Cassie's attorney, once the verdict was read, went outside and basically said, we understand that there was reasonable doubt here. We're glad that he was found guilty on at least 2 of the counts, and we're hoping he's going to serve a substantial amount of time. Cassie's lawyer, Doug Wigder, also wrote a letter. This is what he says. He submitted a letter asking the court to deny Combs's release. In the letter, he referenced part of the Bail Reform Act to say that detention is mandatory after convictions on the Mann Act charges. That's interesting. As you know, he's a lawyer, obviously, not Diddy's, but he's a lawyer and he knows this. So he quoted directly from the Mann Act saying that detention is mandatory. It says he added that Ventura believes that Mr. Combs is likely to pose a danger to the victims who testified in this case, including herself, as well as to the community. So they're all still saying that he is dangerous and that he could be violent. Kesha came out and posted support for Cassie. So she came out and said, Cassie, I believe you. I love you. Your strength is a beacon for every survivor. You can see her post here. A lot of people are speaking out on this situation. Aubrey O'Day also came out basically saying this makes her sick, that he got off on all this. So his family has now returned to the courtroom. We are just waiting for an update to find out if he's getting out of prison today or not. So if you're just joining or you're just getting caught up on this, he was acquitted for the racketeering and the trafficking charges, found guilty of the 2 lesser charges, which are the transportation. So he got receipts and everything else presented on the stand during his 6 weeks in trial. Receipts for hotels, for flights, for these escorts. There was tons of proof that he was paying for these workers to provide sex to his girlfriends across state lines. So lots of evidence to that. He obviously took this as a huge win. As soon as the verdict was read, he collapsed onto the floor onto his knees, put his head in his chair, looked like he was praying. A few minutes later, he gets up, starts hugging all of his defense team. His defense team, some of them were wiping tears away. They were all hugging each other. His family behind him was clapping and cheering. Then they all kind of sombered up a little bit, realizing that yes, they're grateful that he was not guilty on the 2 major charges, which would have put him in prison for life. But then they started realizing this still means prison time and they don't know how long. It could be up to 20 years, depending on what the judge decides. So now we do have a little more information, however, from the prosecution and what they're asking for. Thank you for the gifts, guys. I see you. Let me just read that to you. Hold on. It's kind of interesting because when the verdict was first read, they said they were going to go for 20 years. The government said, we're going for the max, which is 20 years. But the letter looked like they changed, not that they changed their tune, that they realized that isn't realistic and they changed it somewhat. So let me find that for you. We had victims' rights attorneys expressing their concerns about this, saying that this is damaging to all victims who've come forward. Here's a picture again of Janice, who just arrived in court. She was blowing kisses to the supporters earlier. The bail hearing is expected to begin soon. It was scheduled for 5 p.m. Eastern time, so it should start any second now. It's already running over. They said it's a spectacle and a circus outside. Like I said, there are a ton of police there. They've closed the roads off. People are just, as you can imagine, going nuts. All right, where is the letter? We had a lot of sketches released in the last hour. Okay, so here's again what the defense asked for. So this is what they proposed. The defense wants him released today until his sentencing hearing, and this is what they're willing to give. They said they want a $1 million bond co-signed by Combs, of course, his mother, his sister, and his eldest daughter. They want his travel to be restricted, but they still want him to be able to travel to his homes. So they added in that he should be able to travel Florida, California, New York, and New Jersey because he has homes in most of these places. And the other one would be visits for attorneys and attendance in court would be why he needs to go to New York and New Jersey. The surrender of his passport, drug testing by pre-trial services, that would be a huge one. And then they said all other standard conditions of pre-trial supervision. They'd be willing to do all of that. The letter argues that since Combs faces a lighter sentence now, because of the two major ones being taken off the table and him being found not guilty, that he would have, that if convicted, it would have been more serious, but it's removed, so he should be released with conditions is what they're trying to say. They said Mr. Combs has already been incarcerated for 10 months. His sentencing exposure, which we fully respect and do not seek to minimize in any way, is in fact low. And so is any corresponding risk of flight, is what they're trying to say. His jet has already been sequestered, so that's gone as well. We had Cassie Ventura's friend also write a letter to the judge expressing grave concern over his release. And this, like I said, was the stylist. Here's what he said in the letter, another quote from it. Mr. Combs has a long, well-documented history of violent, coercive, and retaliatory behavior. Over the years, he has repeatedly escaped meaningful accountability, and each time this has only reinforced his sense of impunity. If he is released now, I have no doubt he will see it as yet another license to continue intimidating, threatening, and harming people who challenge or expose him. Okay, hold on. There's an update. I got to check it before we go on. Judge has just denied bail. Sean P. Diddy Combs has been denied bail. He is going to remain in custody. I'm actually shocked. That's amazing. That's amazing. That is definitely a win right now for the prosecution and all the victims that came forward. At least the judge is taking this part seriously and being like, no, he's staying put until we have a sentencing hearing and we'll go from there. Now, this is all we've got right now because as you know, nothing is televised inside. What's happening right now is there is a media person inside the courtroom. They're relaying all the info to everyone outside and then they're relaying it to us. It's a terrible system. Federal cases, there's no camera in there, unfortunately. So this is all we've got so far. So somebody got hurt or told in their earpiece, okay, he's denied bail. We'll have a better write-up in just a few minutes, so stay tuned. We'll wait for that update. In the meantime, if you're just joining, Sean P. Diddy Combs has been denied bail once again. He's going to be reprimanded back into federal custody and go into federal detention center again until his sentencing hearing. And no word yet when that is happening. We're going to just wait for some more information. Okay, let me find the prosecution's letter. That was the defense that we just wrote. We just went through some of the letters that have been passed in. Those are the two counts. Oh yeah, baby oil sprayed into the crowd outside the courthouse. That was nuts. People were going crazy outside with baby oil, dumping it all over themselves. Like, it was weird. Okay, it's not in this one. Hold on. In case you're just joining, I've been checking numerous news sites. I want to make sure that we have all of the latest updates. So I'm following literally Fox, CNN, and NBC and refreshing every page multiple times. Okay, here is from NBC. They've got a little bit more. They've said, the judge ruled that Combs should remain in custody while awaiting sentencing. Combs was convicted on the 2 counts of the Mann Act violation for transporting male escorts and former girlfriends, Cassie and Jane, for sex. But he was acquitted of a pair of sex trafficking counts and 1 count of racketeering. So no more information. That's all they have been relayed as well. But let me go find, actually, hold on. I think, I don't know. I won't do that. I know I took a screenshot of the letter, but I just want to read you what the prosecution said in their letter. I don't know if I'm shocked or what that he's staying in custody. This judge, though, the whole 6 weeks, guys, has been a huge rule follower, so it makes so much sense that he's keeping Diddy in custody right now, but denied bail again. What is this, times 6 probably? So bail has been denied. He is going to remain in custody. He's going to remain in prison until his sentencing hearing, and we're just waiting to find out when that's going to be. Hold on, Combs. What do we want to put in? Bail hearing. Let's put that in, and we'll see what we can get. I want that letter so I can read it to you guys. It tells exactly what the prosecution was saying. Crazy, guys. Okay, Diddy verdict, live updates. Hold on, let me check AP News. If you're ever looking for a news channel that is usually not too biased, it's kind of right down the middle usually, AP News. So like the Associated Press, they're the independent journalists who a lot of the other media outlets buy their articles from. So just a heads up. Okay, hold on, let's see. What to know, bail hearing, sentencing. The judge has not yet set a sentencing date for Combs. The maximum possible sentence for Combs, 2 guilty counts, is 10 years in prison for both. Just in, he's denied bond while awaiting sentencing. Combs could be sentenced to 10 years in prison, but he likely won't, they're saying. While the law allows for a sentence of up to 10 years in prison, the lawyers in the case have said in court filings that guidelines suggest a sentence that would fall well short of that. Oh, here we go. The defense suggests as little as 21 months, I bet they do, minus what Combs has already served. Prosecutors suggested a little more than 5 years, though they cautioned they hadn't fully evaluated the conviction yet. The sentence will ultimately be up to the judge. Okay, hold on. Combs returns to court. New defense letter provides more reasons to release Combs. If convicted, it convicted him only on 2 prostitution counts, which were related to the transportation of adults. Adults whom the jury clearly found were consensual participants in the sexual activity. So they're trying to minimize it, of course. The letter also complained again about housing Combs at the detention center for its horrific conditions, rampart violence, and multiple deaths. Dude, you're in prison. What do you expect? And a really nice celebrity prison, if I do say so. It would be unjust to continue detaining Mr. Combs at the MDC Center even one day longer, especially since, given the sentencing guidelines for these prostitution offenses, he would otherwise be entitled to serve any additional time imposed at a lower security facility. Oh, they're working hard. Okay, was acquitted of racketeering. Okay, this goes into what exactly the Mann Act is. Cassie's lawyers want him to deny. Oh, this is the letter from Cassie. Prosecutor. Okay, here's prosecution. This is their letter. I found it here, guys. Okay, so for prosecution, this is what they were stating as to why they thought that Diddy should remain in prison. If you're just joining, bail has been denied. Diddy is not going anywhere today. He is going to be reprimanded into prison until his sentencing hearing, which we don't have a date for yet. Here's what the prosecutors wrote. Their letter to the judge says their calculation based on federal sentencing guidelines calls for roughly 4 to 5 years in prison. That's kind of what a lot of people were suspecting in this case. And the term they will suggest in writing before his sentencing may be, so they're admitting they may still ask for higher because they contend fraud and coercion were involved. And I agree, especially the coercion. They also argue that Combs was convicted of a crime of violence and therefore should be freed. Oh, here, sorry, I gotta read it right. They also argue that Combs was convicted of a crime of violence and therefore should be freed prior to sentencing only if the judge finds clear and convincing evidence that he won't flee or pose a danger to anyone. Prosecutors say detention is mandatory in these circumstances. They could not find a case in which a defendant was released from custody after such a conviction. That's what got it right there. That judge, like I said, is a crazy rule follower. There's no way he was going to be the first person to release someone from a charge like this if it wasn't in the books before. He is a total rule follower. They also said Combs remains a danger to the community because 3 months before his arrest, and while he was aware he was under investigation, he brutally assaulted a woman who testified at his trial under the pseudonym Jane. And they say he was in possession of materials for a freak-off sex event when he was arrested at a New York hotel in September. If you remember, he knew he was under investigation, and when they went and arrested him in his hotel room, it was stacked with freak-off stuff. Lube, baby oil, drugs, lighting, you name it, it was all there. He was getting ready for another freak-off. He didn't think this was happening, guys. This is the defense letter. Okay, hold on. Let me check and see if there's any updates again right now. We need more info on the bail being denied. Do we get, okay, we got some more info here. Hold on. Yeah, okay. Judge declines to grant Combs bail. Here we go. The decision came after a jury convicted Combs of federal prostitution-related offenses, but acquitted him of sex trafficking and racketeering charges. Combs, 55 years old, has been behind bars since his arrest in September. That's almost 10 months. The Grammy-winning, stands convicted of 2 counts of a crime, transportation to engage, and it carries a maximum sentence of 10 years in prison. But jurors cleared him of charges that could have put him behind bars for life. His lawyers argued that the acquittal on those counts changed the legal landscape enough that he should be freed on $1 million bond. Prosecutors said he remained a flight risk. And among other reasons, the judge noted Combs' violent history, saying at trial, the defense conceded the defendant's violence in his personal relationships, and they did. So if you were familiar with the court case, prosecution was going off about all the times that he beat his girlfriends, and the defense didn't argue it. They said, yeah, he did. He's a terrible boyfriend. He was a terrible person. This is what he did, but he's just a swinger enjoying his sex life is what they tried to say. But they admitted to his violence with his partners, and the judge highlighted that. He said, you've even pointed out how violent he was. Okay, let's see if we've got 2 new updates on CNN. All right, we've got a proposition for sentencing hearing. It says, the judge has proposed a sentencing date of October 3rd. That is months away. October 3rd at 10 a.m. Eastern, but said he's willing to move up the sentencing date at the defense's request. I don't know why they wouldn't want to move it up. We'll have to wait and see. Maybe he's thinking they want to prepare. But right now he's suggesting October 3rd, and we're waiting to see what the defense is going to say. Combs has demonstrated a disregard for the rule of law and a propensity for violence, the judge said. Here we go, guys. This is just coming in. It says, the judge said he denied bail for Sean Diddy Combs when it wasn't mandatory before the trial, and he sees no reason to reach the opposite conclusion now. He said, he's now quoting the defense at different instances when Combs' lawyers acknowledged his violence towards his former girlfriends. So he read quotes from the prosecution and quotes from the defense, where the defense was admitting how violent he was to his girlfriends. And he says, at trial, the defense conceded defendant's violence in personal relationships, saying it happened in relation to Cassie Ventura and Jane. He said there was also violence and illegal conduct after the searches on Combs' home when he was aware he was under investigation. This highlights a disregard for the rule of law and a propensity of violence. Guys, I love this judge. Exactly. Diddy did not care. He basically was flipping the middle finger off at all of these feds investigating him and thought he was beyond the law. He was like, whatever. He's under investigation, and in New York hotel room, he's got everything laid out for another freak off, which was unfortunately probably going to be with Jane. He was still paying her rent, right? Okay, we've got October 3rd being presented right now as a sentencing hearing, and we're just waiting to see what defense says. Hold on, let me go check our other updates. That's crazy. It's totally karma. It's getting thrown back in his face that he was acting like he was untouchable. Like having drugs in his hotel room when he's under investigation. Like, what are you thinking? He ruled that Combs should remain in custody while awaiting sentencing. Okay, we already read that one. 3 new updates. Let's see what we got. Combs' supporters outside the courthouse were disappointed but not immediately angered by the judge's ruling that will keep the music mogul in custody. They were gasping and questioning it, but they weren't surprised, and some even agreed. Okay. The judge noted that his personal circumstances do not warrant a release. He noted that the prosecution appropriately cited the section of the Bail Reform Act that requires Combs remain in custody until his sentencing, which has some exceptions. Combs' circumstances do not warrant those exceptions, the judge decided. According to the Bail Reform Act, a defendant who's been convicted must prove that they do not pose a flight risk or danger to the community to be released. Prosecutors argued that Combs did not meet that burden and provided letters on behalf of 2 witnesses who worried for the danger Combs might pose upon release. Ventura's attorney supplied one of those 2 letters. The other one was these stylist guys, Nash, who saw Diddy beating Cassie. Okay, let's check the Associated Press again, see what they've got going on. The judge noted Combs' violent history. At trial, the defense conceded the defendant's violence in his personal relationships. And then they said, for present purposes, the defendant is unable to meet his burden to show by clear and convincing evidence a lack of danger to any person or the community. Wow. So if you're just joining, guys, Diddy has been denied bail, and we are currently awaiting when sentencing is going to be. The judge just threw out the date of October 3rd at 10 a.m. And he said he is willing to move that up if defense requests so. So we don't know how long the defense is going to want to prepare for this, but October is a long time. But you got to remember, all this time he's spending in federal detention goes to his sentence. So if he's given like 3 years, whatever time he's been in there now and until October, that all counts. Like it's all part of it, right? It's crazy. October the 3rd, it was 10 a.m. Eastern. Okay, we've got an update here. His defense attorney said they would like to expedite the sentencing schedule as much as possible, so they do want to move it up. He said the defense is willing to waive a pre-sentencing investigation to expedite the sentencing schedule if the judge is open to it. So they do want to move it up. And the judge is open to it because he said he would. He said he's willing to move up the sentencing date at the defense's request. Okay, we'll see what date they pick. Oh, did we just get an update? Nope, not yet. Okay, this is crazy. I love that the judge denied bail. I'm not going to lie. I think that was a really good move. A lot of people are upset that the 2 major charges fell through, but he is still being charged, which is a good thing for the people that came forward. And the fact that he isn't getting bail, I think says a lot. And hopefully it makes the victims who came forward feel a little bit better about it. I don't know. We'll have to see. Make sure you have followed though, guys. I will definitely be updating on this as soon as something comes out. And I upload all of these lives to my YouTube channel after if you missed any of the information. Bail has been denied. Okay, we're still just waiting on an update to see what the actual date's going to be. 2 new updates. Okay. The judge acknowledged the great divide between the prosecution and the defense lawyers in their desire for Combs' sentencing. He's scheduled a remote status conference for Tuesday to hash out some details of the sentencing, saying time is of the essence. For Tuesday? Oh, interesting. Okay, hold on. Saying time is of the essence. Combs' team is seeking a term of 21 to 27 months, while prosecutors want him to be sent to prison for 51 to 63 months. Okay. So Combs' team want him in there basically for 2 years. And the defense or the prosecution, the government wants him to serve at least 5. So the judge ordered all sides to return to court on October 3rd for sentencing, but noted that the date could be moved up if Combs' team, his defense, wanted it to. The defense is seeking a term of 21 to 27 months. Government wants 51 to 63. Combs will get credit for the time he has spent. But now, like I just said, the judge just said that there is a great divide between the prosecutors and the defense on how much sentencing time he's going to get. So now he scheduled a remote status conference for Tuesday to hash out some of the details of sentencing, saying time is of the essence. So that doesn't sound like it's the actual sentencing hearing. It sounds like he just wants them to get closer in what they want, perhaps. Interesting. Okay, let's see what the other sides are saying here. No updates yet for CNN. Let's check the Associated Press. Huh. Judge, oh, we just did that one. Nope, they haven't updated still. Among other reasons, for present purposes. Okay, we're still waiting for the Associated Press to post an update. We've got another update, though, on this one. Combs has been sitting with his head down and his hands in his lap, appearing deflated after his hopes of going home today were quashed. I bet he is. So, recap quickly before we get some more updates here. Combs was charged today, guilty on 2 counts, not guilty on 3 of the counts. The 2 counts, one was for Cassie, one was for Jane, was for transportation for purposes of paid sex. He was found guilty on those 2. Max of 10 years for each count. It sounds like they put it together and they don't do it separately, unfortunately. So max would be 10 years that he would get. The defense wants him to serve 2 years. Prosecution is saying 5 years. They're quite far apart on that right now, so the judge wants it to get a little closer. They just said no to bail. The judge denied him bond. He's going to be detained until his sentencing hearing. The judge first suggested October 3rd for sentencing, but said he is willing to move it up. Defense said, yes, move it up. They're going to meet Tuesday, apparently, with a remote status conference to hash out some of the details. Don't know what that's going to look like, but we'll check that on Tuesday, and I will definitely update, so hit follow. And they just said that Combs has been sitting with his head down and his hands in his lap, appearing deflated after his hopes of going home today were quashed. As you know, he basically told his family, I'll see you at home later. He thought he was going home. He thought he was as good as gold for this. According to everything that we're reading right now on these updates, for this type of count, for this type of charge, in the past, nobody has been released from prison to go home and await sentencing when you've been charged for this. Like, this is a pretty gross charge, as you can imagine. So nobody's been released. The defense did not prove that he isn't dangerous. In fact, during the trial, they agreed that he was dangerous. They agreed that he was violent towards his girlfriends and people in the past. And the judge used that against him. The judge said, look, even your defense said that you're a risk. So no, we're not releasing you. What is this one? Evidence at trial pointed to Combs exhibiting a years-long pattern of violence, said the judge. For present purposes, the defendant is unable to meet his burden to show by clear and convincing evidence a lack of danger to any person or the community. Yeah, we just read that one on another site as well. He's not having it. Okay, let's see. We're just waiting on a new update here, guys. Oh, we've got one update on CNN. It's probably the same update though. Oh, no, this is from the prosecutor. Okay, here's something new we just got. Prosecutors said, given the complexity of the trial and the disparity between the parties' positions on the sentencing guidelines range, she doesn't believe the court has enough information to sentence Sean Diddy Combs without a pre-sentencing investigation. So if you've been following, what ended up happening is he was denied bail. The judge suggested October 3rd as a sentencing date and said he'd move it if defense wanted. Defense was like, heck yes, I want it moved. So he said he would move it up. So they were kind of discussing that. But the defense said, we'll waive the pre-sentence hearing, just move it up. But now prosecutors are saying, no, you can't. We have to have a pre-sentence investigating. She said the government is willing to work with the defense to move the process forward as quickly as possible. Defense attorney who had suggested waiving the pre-sentencing investigation in order to expedite the sentencing schedule said the defense believes it has strong arguments to make on Combs's behalf for sentence below the guidelines. Okay, well, make it then, because we're all sitting here waiting. Interesting. Hold on. These updates are just flying in now. Okay, what is this one? Oh, the defense. The title of this says, Combs is no pimp, and this is not a danger to the community. So the Mann Act violators tend to be pimps making money off sex workers, but that's not the situation with Combs. This is what his attorney's saying. So he's saying with charges like this, it's typically pimps, and Combs isn't a pimp. I kind of feel like he was pimping his girlfriends out. I mean, they weren't making the money. He was costing them money, but come on. He said he insisted his client is nothing like the typical person convicted under the Mann Act because Combs's bad acts don't involve him controlling prostitutes. Just his girlfriends? Is that what he's getting at? He says this is not the case here. He might not have been controlling prostitutes, but he was certainly controlling his girlfriends. That was very evident. Whatever he said went in this case for a lot of reasons, but I can't believe he just said that. It sounds ridiculous. Blackmail and extortion. I know, right? So just to clarify what I mean by that, watching the 6 weeks of trial and hearing all the testimony, Jane and Cassie both said they were love bombed. They were basically groomed into these relationships and doing these freak offs. They were both basically blackmailed. He threatened both of them to release sex tapes if they didn't do certain things. He even threatened Cassie's parents, and they ended up giving him $20,000. There were bank statements proving that. He also threatened to take away their housing because he paid for it, their vehicles because he paid for it, and there was a lot. There was a lot. I can't believe his defense just said that. That's ridiculous. I hope prosecution jumped on that. I wish we were in there and being able to hear it. Okay, that one has not been updated. I'm just searching for updates, guys, every time my head's down here. Because they're coming in quick and I want to make sure we're keeping up. Denied bail. If you're just joining, he's been denied bail. Okay, they just posted about not skipping pre-sentencing as well. They said they're willing to work with the defense to move the process forward as quickly as possible, but they're not willing to skip the pre-sentencing investigation. That part we knew. Okay, we'll just wait for another update here. Can you imagine these journalists trying to get this information out as fast as they can to us? Like I said, it's not televised inside. So what's currently happening is journalists are in the courthouse listening to this, and then they've got to relay it as fast as they can to the journalists on the outside. And then they have to tell us all the information. And someone's online somewhere in an office, literally just typing all this out in a transcript for us. It's crazy. So what we've got right now, guys, is bail's been denied. He's staying in prison. They said he looks completely deflated. They said he is sitting with his head down and his hands in his lap, appearing deflated after his hopes of going home today were quashed. He actually said to his family earlier, like, see you at home. He thanked them and said that he loved them before he was escorted out. I think they were all super hopeful because the 2 main charges were dropped that he was going to get out. But that's not the case. The judge was like, nope. Basically, the defense hasn't done anything to show that he's, not a menace. Oh, we've got another update. The defense's own language is now coming back to haunt Combs' team as the judge notes Combs' attorneys conceded to the jury that there was violence in this case. His attorneys said in their opening and closing arguments that Combs was guilty of domestic violence, but that his offenses did not meet the bar of racketeering or sex trafficking. The judge reminded the attorney of this as he pushed back that Combs' defense has not adequately proved that Combs is not a danger to the public. Domestic violence is violence, the judge told him. Well done. This judge, you guys, spot on. He is not messing around. And how true is that? Them trying to say, he's not a risk. Cassie's already put a statement in saying that she's scared if he gets out, that he's going to retaliate for their statements on the stand. I mean, I can't say that he would, but it's a fear that they have, right? Okay, let me check. They're slow with their updates. Come on, Associated Press. You got CNN and Fox beating you here. The court doesn't have enough information. Yeah, we already got that one. Okay, we're sticking. It looks like NBC is the quickest on the draw on this. They're literally typing everything up as soon as it comes in. I'm going to leave this one open. We'll wait for another update. So basically what we just heard was that the judge is throwing the defense's words back in their face. They're saying, he's not a risk. He's not violent. He's fine. And the judge is like, not what you said in your closing argument. You said, yes, domestic violence. He's violent. And now you're trying to say he's not. So hopefully, oh, guys, Inner City Press is pretty quick. Here, I'll look up that one too. Somebody else recommended them too. I've never looked into Inner City Press before. Inner City Press. Let's get it. I wonder if we should follow them on Twitter or their actual website. Let's go Twitter and see what, unless I have to log in on my account because I haven't. I don't want to bother logging in right now, so let's go back. Hold on, we'll follow them on their website. Sean Combs. Let's see if they do live updates. I think I'm gonna have to log in. It looks like they're doing their live updates on Twitter. Let's do it. Continue. Touch. Just logging in here, guys. What's your birthday? Oh, I hate putting my birthday. November. It's so discouraging now when I have to scroll back for 10 minutes to find my actual birth date now. Okay, sign up. Oh my God, it's gonna make me pick a username and all this stuff. Hold on. Dude, I just want your updates. Okay, nope, too long. There we go. Next. No, I don't want notifications. See who's on X. No. No. Oh my God, come on, dude. Get me out of this. Oh, seriously. I'm about to give up. Yes, continue. Oh, we're in. Oh, thank God. Okay. Do you want to follow Inner City Press? Sure. Okay, here we go. What are they saying? 52 minutes ago? Oh, 2 minutes. Here we go. Oh, they're 55 seconds ago. Oh, they got lots of updates, guys. Oh, get ready. We're reading some stuff here. Let's see. Okay, that was 1 hour ago. Bail is denied to Sean Combs by the judge, citing conviction today on transportation charges. Inner City Press live tweeting below. Okay. Here we go. We got it. 34 minutes ago. Where's the latest? Oh, sweet. We got it all. Okay. Hold on. I got to find where we're starting here. This might be a little too detailed. There was violence after the searches in this case. As to Jane, the court takes no position on what it will consider as sentencing. Oh yeah, this is, he's literally tweeting every word basically. So we set sentencing for Friday, October 3rd at 10. They wanted it expedited. We'll hold a hearing on the afternoon of July 8th. And then Combs' lawyer says, Your Honor has a lot of information from presiding over the trial. We want the sentencing as soon as possible. Other Mann Act cases, there's nothing remotely similar to this. The cases were reviewed involving defendants making money, millions, or involving minors. That's different here as the facts. Let's see. We understand this is moving quickly. The issue for us is if we'd had more time, we could have shown extraordinary circumstances. This is Combs' lawyer. The judge says, you concede violence in your closing. Whether that's relevant to sentencing is not for today to be decided, but it can be considered on a bail application. And then Combs says, in June 2024, there's an argument that Mr. Combs was defending himself. Come on. Judge says, Mr. Combs tried to get into a batterers program in New York. The jury never heard that. Then he got arrested. All these months later, here we are. The same drive to meet the head on, like the self-respecting businessman he is. Combs' lawyer says he's been a model prisoner. There have been no issues. He's going to have next chapters of his life. When you're charged with racketeering, you have dark talks. When I was reading the Mia messages for his birthday, he's going on here. His children are here, his 2 daughters. Let me check. Oh, now there's just a bunch of people commenting. Holy. That's a lot. Okay, hold on here. Let me check for updates again. It's a lot, guys. Combs' lawyer is now saying he's a well-respected businessman and he deserves a break. It says Combs' attorney called the embattled music mogul, a self-respecting businessman who has earned the court's trust. He said his client has met all the court's orders and should be allowed to post bail while awaiting sentencing. He's shown a drive to meet the case head-on honorably, like a self-respecting businessman like he is. Come on. Who are they kidding? Sorry, guys, that's ridiculous. Okay, hold on. Live update. Got another update on CNN. Oh, okay. Prosecutor responding. Prosecutor says the judge is correct in his decision to keep Sean Diddy Combs in detention, calling him an extremely violent man with a dangerous temper. What's exceptional about Combs, they said, is his wealth, his violence, and his brazenness. He's an extremely violent man with an extraordinarily dangerous temper who has shown no remorse and no regret for his multiple victims. Defense attorney appealed to the judge one more time, saying in part, listening to Ms. Comey makes me appreciate that we have juries. Combs wants to speak with the judge, defense attorney says. Defense attorney just told the judge that Combs would like to speak with him, telling the court that he'll see what Combs wants to say. The judge says, you full-throatedly in your closing argument, told the jury that there was violence here and domestic violence is violence. And you said this is a case that did involve violence. Oh, yeah. And then Combs's lawyer is trying to say after the surveillance video of Cassie came out and he allegedly tried to enter a batterers program, that this should help. He says he's a man in the process of working on himself. Oh, judge confirms bail is denied and sets a hearing. Interesting. He says the judge again confirmed Sean Diddy Combs' bail has been denied. End of story. He scheduled a remote hearing for next Tuesday at 2 p.m. Eastern to address the sentencing scheduling. The judge is off the bench and court is done for the day. It's over, guys. Diddy is staying where he is. He's going back to his jail cell. And on next Tuesday at 2 p.m., thanks, Tori, 2 p.m. Eastern, they're going to address the sentencing scheduling. So they're not scheduling it today. They're going to go back. Wow. That was a lot, guys. I'm impressed with this judge. I think he's doing a great job. And obviously, Diddy does too, because he thanked him and said he was doing a wonderful job last time. So after hearing additional arguments from both lawyers, the judge has ruled once more that Combs will not be allowed bail. The application for bail is denied for the reasons I have already said. Shelly, thank you, darling. The court is clearing out with a sentencing date still set for October 3rd, though that might change as an expedited sentencing proceeding is being considered. Tori, thank you, sweetheart. The judge asked for both parties to meet with him next week for a remote conference on Tuesday to discuss a proposal to move up the sentencing date. Hit follow. We will be back live next Tuesday night to figure this out. I will definitely be posting about this as well. If you missed any of this information tonight, I will definitely be downloading this and putting it to my YouTube. So make sure you go follow my YouTube channel, which is just my name, The Recap with Julie. All right, I'm coming to your comments here because I haven't been able to chat with you guys. Oh, thank you guys for following and sticking out with me here. So just a quick recap, guys. We just finished listening to the bail hearing. Basically, Diddy's side was saying he's this upstanding businessman. He deserves to have bail. He's not this pimp because he didn't deal with prostitutes, just pimped out his girlfriends. But anyway, and that he should have bail. He's not a threat or danger to society. The judge completely called him out and said, not what you said in your closing statements. The defense had admitted to all of Diddy's violence, the domestic violence, and that he was violent and had a bad temper. So the judge threw that back in his face and said, according to the charges that he's had, the guilty verdict that came today, he can't let him out. So he is going to be in prison until his sentencing. Right now, we have a tentative date of October 3rd. It's going to move up. We just don't know when. Next Tuesday, we're going to have the defense and the prosecution doing a virtual call with the judge to go over sentencing again and pick a date, most likely. So I will update you as soon as we get that. Liz says, I think the judge is mad. I agree. I think he's not playing around with this. Like, the defense isn't going to pull the wool over his eyes. Like, he was there this whole 6 weeks too. He knows exactly what's been going down, right? Could he get out next week? No. The bail has been denied. That will not change unless they appeal it. So as you know, when this all first started, when he first got arrested, his team, I think 5 times appealed to get bail and bond again, and they were denied every time. So they can appeal it, but no, it's not going to change unless there is a hearing to appeal it now. It's ruled, gavel's down, it's done. Sentence scheduled October 3rd. Yeah. Why did the judge... Oh, I just missed that comment. Somebody asked something about the judge, but I pulled the picture down instead of the comments. Hold on, let me move my comments over so I can... Oh my God. So I can see what you guys are writing. Oh, I hate when that does that. All right, I'll try and read them like this. Why did the judge change the sentencing from October? The sentencing isn't changed from October to Tuesday. What he did is he set it for October 3rd in the books, but said he would move it up if the defense wanted him to. Defense said yes, that they wanted to waive the pre-sentencing hearing. The prosecution said, no, we're not waiving that. So they're disagreeing on that. So the judge didn't move it up. And he said, we'll meet Tuesday to discuss this. So he ended court today, but they're going to meet Tuesday to go over when the new date will be. So it's going to be moved up. We just don't know when. And as now, it's in the docket for October 3rd. I hope the judge gives protected orders on witnesses. Yeah. I don't know what exactly is going to go on for this, but it's going to be interesting. How much time do you think he will get? It's going to be under 5 years, guys. It's going to be under 5 years. So the defense right now is asking for like 21 months to, what was it, guys? 21 months to 29 months? Hold on. I don't want to say the wrong thing here. Basically, the defense is saying 2 years and prosecution is saying 5 years. But they're saying it in months. So we got to do the math. Okay. Oh, we got an update here. The court is clearing out. Sentence date set for October 3rd. Both parties going to meet. Okay. Let me see. Where's our months? Here it is. Combs' team is seeking 21 to 27 months. So what is that? 2 years, just under 2 years or just over 2 years? And the prosecutors want him in for 51 to 63 months. So close to 5 years. So they're pretty far off. He could totally get probation for no prior violent charges. No, he'll have jail time. The defense isn't even asking for probation. They know there's going to be jail time. So the judge isn't going to give less than the defense is even asking. He's definitely getting jail time. But the 9 months he's already served will play into that. Why is prosecution seeking so little? I'm guessing they're trying to be realistic in this because he doesn't have any prior felonies along this path. There's a whole bunch of things that come into play in this, but 10 years, I guess, was going to be the max because they typically don't run the sentences back to back, unfortunately. So I think they were just trying to be realistic, and so is defense, right? They'd like to ask for no time, but they know it's not realistic. So that's why they're asking for like 2 years and prosecution's gone to 5. Oh, thanks, Sunshine. Guys, thanks for following along. I know the girls are glad he did not get out now. Yeah. Cassie wrote a letter, if you weren't in here, guys, to the court, basically stating that she's fearful and she doesn't want him out. Krista, thank you, darling. And their stylist, Nash, that witnessed all of this, he also wrote a letter saying, like, I saw Diddy beat Cassie and he should not be released. Tori, thank you, darling. Coming in with the money gun. What did Diddy's attorney call him? Respectable? Yes. Here, do you want me to read that part again? Terrible. Hold on. I can't believe he said this, but a self-respecting businessman is what he called him. Here's what he said. Okay. Combs' attorney called him a self-respecting businessman who has earned the court's trust. He said his client has met all the court's orders and should be allowed to post bail while he awaits sentencing. He has shown a drive to meet the case head-on honorably, like a self-respecting businessman like he is. Yep, they did. A respectable and violent businessman, someone just wrote. Yeah. So what's going on? How many years is he getting? We haven't done the sentencing yet. Today was just the bail hearing. Sentencing is set for October 3rd, but they're meeting on Tuesday over video conference to discuss moving the sentencing up. So we're going to have the sentencing hearing sooner than that, but we don't know when. His bail was denied. He's going back to prison. He's not going home today, guys. And we'll figure out when the sentencing is, I think, after Tuesday. Make sure you hit follow. I will update for sure. He has prior charges from years ago, but he was acquitted. It's these types of charges is what he doesn't have. Was he found guilty on all charges? No, he was found guilty on 2 and not guilty on 3. He was found guilty on transportation for the means of paid sex, but he was found not guilty on the racketeering, the RICO charge, and the trafficking for sex. He was found not guilty on those. It's crazy to me that he thought he could go home today. Like what? I think a lot of people thought he would. Like a lot of people thought because he had the 2 lesser charges that he'd be able to go home. But what people failed to do was look into the law surrounding these particular charges for the Mann Act. And Cassie's lawyer wrote it right in his letter. He's like, according to the Bail Act, you can't let him go on bail. There's no precedence for it. It hasn't been done before. And this judge was not going to be precedent for doing that. He's a rule follower. When can all the civil suits begin? That will be how the women abused by Diddy will get justice. Good question. I don't know if any of them are on the docket yet for beginning, but now that this is over, I'm assuming we're going to start seeing those cases crop up. Oh, I love you, Rewind. Thank you so much for the lovely compliment. Guys, that means the world to me. I love that. Thank you. How much time has he done so far? 9 months. He's been in federal detention for 9 months. And if you remember, he's in New York in the like celebrity prison is what people like to refer to it at, where R. Kelly was. It's not really prison-y, I guess. It's not like a typical prison. It's more of a detention center where you go while you're waiting for prison, basically. And yes, it's still prison. It's still violent and there's still stuff going on, but I'm sure he's doing just fine in there. Did they sentence him? No, his sentencing is scheduled for October 3rd, but they're going to move the date up. We just don't know to when. They're going to be doing a video conference on Tuesday to decide when they're moving it up to. I agree. Somebody just said it's totally BS on the trafficking. I agree. Can the judge decide how long he gets? That's who's going to decide. The judge will decide. Defense and prosecution both put in their recommendations and what they're asking for, and then the judge lays it all out, reads it, and decides. Yes, he was found guilty on 2 counts and not guilty on 3. How long could he be sentenced for? Unfortunately, it's going to be less than 5 years. So defense is asking for just around 2 years. Prosecution is asking for just around 5 years. So maybe we can say like it'll be somewhere between there, like between 3 and 4 years, maybe. Federal prison is a breeze compared to regular prison. Yeah. You get a lot of people in there that are like in for fraud and, tax evasion and stuff like that. I can imagine how stupid Diddy fans felt when they get to know he's not going home. Yeah. People outside the courtroom, guys, today were going absolutely berserk. Police had to show up. There was a ton of police presence. They had to close down streets. People, they weren't rioting per se, but people were like whipping their shirts off. Women were in bras, having nip slips and stuff. Men without shirts, dumping baby oil all over themselves. It was chaos. There was people fighting from both sides. It was nuts. 2 to 5 years. Yeah, 2 to 5 years with time served is what he's going to end up getting. They were showering each other with baby oil. I know. I don't get what I know they think it's funny. The whole how many bottles of baby oil he had, I'm sure we were all laughing at, like 1,000 bottles of baby oil, what the hell? But once you hear what he was using that for, I don't know how you can be outside the courtroom when these women were in testifying what he did with that baby oil and how obsessed he was. Like, it's sick. Like, I don't know how you're out there laughing about it. Thank you to whoever just sent that. Sorry, I missed who sent that. 25 to 50 years would be much better. Yeah. Could the judge ever decide to give him more time? Yes. The max is 10 years. So, I mean, the judge can do what he wants. The judge could say, I'm letting you go on time served, or I'm giving you the full 10 years. We don't know. They can just give recommendations from both sides, but where the defense says around 2 years and prosecution says around 5, I'm guessing it'll be somewhere around there. He's not going to, go way out and do something completely out of left field here. R. Kelly got way more. What's the difference? There's actually, quite a bit of difference. R. Kelly's situation was actually quite a bit different. But you'd have to look into both cases to see all the differences. They both have sex issues. Let's just put it that way. Isn't it possible 10 on each count? So why? Oh, so yes, he got it. It would have been 10 years per count. He was guilty on 2 counts. 10 years is the max. So technically it could have been 20 years, which is what the government said they were going to go for. But it's extremely rare for them to run consecutive sentences, like serve out one sentence, then serve out the next. Typically they put it together and they just give you time. So when that's the case, it's a max of 10 years, unfortunately. So yeah, not good. Do you think they will use the time served to a sentencing? Yes, they usually do. Yeah, it'll say with time served. He saved the rest of Hollywood going down. Yeah. I feel sorry for all of his victims. How many years is he getting? We don't have a sentencing yet. If you're just joining, guys, sentencing hasn't happened. It's going to be October 3rd, but it's going to be moved up. They want it moved up. They're going to meet on Tuesday over video conference, the defense and the prosecution with the judge to pick a new date. So Tuesday, we will have an update for you guys. So hit the plus button. Wait, so if he gets to serve some years in prison, will he stay at MDC or be transferred? He's going to be transferred. He won't be at MDC once they decide. MDC is a detention center. You basically wait there until your sentencing and then they send you to prison. It's like a holding cell. Hopefully the judge doesn't fail the victims as well and gives him the maximum sentence. He'll just start all over. Any of his helpers should serve time too. And that's why they all got up and, got immunity. If you noticed, if you followed the trial, most of the people who had to testify would get up either the day before or the morning of, and they would get up and they would get immunity for their testimony. And that's why, because what they were doing was illegal. Going and buying Diddy drugs, planting drugs in his hotel room, setting this whole sex unit up at a hotel. Like, they could have gotten in just as much shit, right? So that's why they all got up there, got immunity, and then testified. Otherwise, they wouldn't have testified. They wouldn't have been honest, right? Yes, he was found guilty on 2 charges. Would there be any restrictions after jail? Yes, he'll be on, once he gets out of jail, he'll get out after like 85% of his time or 80% of his time served. And then he's going to have restrictions. He's going to be on parole for the rest of his time. So as an example, Gypsy Rose Blanchard, she was sentenced to 10 years. She served just around 8 years. She got out and she had to be on parole until her 10 years is up. So that's kind of how it works. He can never buy baby oil again unless, yeah. No. Somebody sees him out and about ordering baby oil or the Amazon delivery guy being like, pretty sure this is baby oil. Yeah, it's going to look sketch, right? I've done Fed time. Some of y'all talking and don't know how it works. Jessica, share. What are you correcting? He never thought hold on. He never bought baby oil. He had people do it for him. Oh, absolutely. I don't think this man has bought anything in the last 20 years of his life, right? He would get his assistants to buy all of this. They played voice recordings in court of Diddy contacting his assistant being like, I'm all out of baby oil. What the hell, man? Like, I can't believe I ran out. Get me more of this stuff. There's also a voice recording of him basically saying, here's the list of things I want. I want this type of food from Erewhon. I hope I said that right. I need baby oil and lube. And his staff knew exactly what he was about. They knew exactly what he needed. They all testified to being his cleanup crew at these freak off hotels. Like, disgusting. They basically said the room would be so trashed and gross that they would have to go in, clean it as best they could, and then the cleaning crew at the hotel would come in and clean it. And he was still charged cleaning fees by a whole bunch of hotels. One of them, I think it was the Intercontinental, charged him $30,000 for one of the rooms. Like, he trashed it so bad, they charged him $30,000 to clean it. Like, imagine baby oil all over your bedding, your carpets. Like, yuck. They said sometimes there'd be blood, candle wax, like gross. Did his assistant Christina testify? No, KK didn't testify. She said, I can't remember if she was subpoenaed and refused, or I don't think you can refuse a subpoena, can you? She didn't testify, but I can't remember why. Anyway, I wonder if he'll still pay Jane's rent. So what that comment means, guys, is Jane and Cassie were the 2 main victims in this, the ones that feds were using for their testimony on what exactly he's been doing. Jane, that's not her real name, it's a pseudonym. She got up there. She's been his girlfriend from 2021 to 2024. He pays her rent, like, still. She admitted on the stand, she's like, yeah, he pays my rent. So he is supporting her lifestyle and he paid her legal fees. That is crazy to me. She's testifying against him. She's testifying for the prosecution and he paid her legal fees. Like, that blows my mind. How are you not together if you're paying her legal fees and her rent? And anyway, I don't know what that is. She also admitted on stand that she still loves him, unfortunately, but anyway. Will he go on the sex offenders registry? Good question. I don't believe so. But I could be wrong. Somebody drop it in the comments. I don't know if transportation for paid sex is part of the sexual or the sex registry, sex offenders registry. I don't think it is. I wish he not buy baby oil is only for babies. Oh, yeah. Well, I think a lot of people use baby oil. They just don't buy 1,000 bottles of it and make their girlfriends smear it all over themselves when they're working with a sex worker, male escort, and smear it all over them. Like, that's not normal. They said that they would go through 2 to 3 bottles per session. Like, where's it all going? You'd be in like this puddle of baby oil. Cassie has fled her home now that the verdict is in. She's scared victim needs justice. I wouldn't be surprised if she was helping him in a way. Her testimony didn't really help. I don't think she was. She said a lot. Like the most damning thing for these 2 charges that he was found guilty was that Cassie and Jane both testified that he was paying male sex workers and taking them, Cassie and Jane, with them to different states. And that's illegal, right? And they both testified that. And she was honest. She talked about all the bad things as well as good things. Like, she made sure to say she loved him and stuff, but she told all the bad stuff. Like, she said, I didn't want to do this. I did it because I loved him and I felt I had to. Like, a couple times were fun and I was into it, but then most of the time I wasn't. Like, they were honest. Didn't him and his son just get charged with crime? His son was also being sued too. King, I don't know what's happening with that, but yeah, I do know that was too. Is he free? No. Bail was denied, guys. He was found guilty of 2 charges, not guilty on 3, and they just denied his bail. Diddy's back to prison. He is still detained. Thanks, Liz. Just saw that. I know, crazy, right? Can you look at your pages to see what's going on? Apparently, Stretcher just went in. Hold on. We haven't been checking our updates, guys. Hold on. Okay, this was 7 minutes ago. Hold on. I'm just updating. God, I hope his mom didn't have... Court is adjourned. Court is clearing out. That was 23 minutes ago. A freak off isn't criminal, according to... Oh, my God. Look at this. Somebody's wearing a t-shirt that says, a freak off is not a Rico. Gross. Combs passed notes to his attorney as they argued for his release. Combs was passing notes to his attorney as he spoke to the judge to argue for Combs' release. After he finished, Combs raised his hand and started to get up, seemingly to speak. His attorney told the judge he would find out what Combs had to say, and Combs' attorneys rushed to speak with him. Ultimately, he did not end up saying anything. Okay, this is when, remember his attorney said, like, he wants to talk to you? Hold on, I'm looking to see if something happened with the Stretcher here. Bail hearing has ended. Oh, okay, it says, not the Stretcher, sorry, I'm just giving you an update. As Combs left the courtroom for a final time, he stood in front of his family telling them, I'll see you when I get out. We're going to get through this. He also told them, be strong, I love you. He looked towards his mother and said, Mama, I love you, stay strong. As soon as Combs was denied bail, he had snapped his head towards his lawyer and then wrote him several notes as he spoke, finally raising his hand and waving it to get the judge's attention. But he did not speak after consulting with his lawyer. His lawyer must have been shitting his pants, like, shut up, don't say anything. Okay, that was 5 minutes ago. No, I'm not seeing anything about a Stretcher. Hold on, let me check one more. Although it could be for people outside, right? What do we got? We got a couple updates 1 minute ago. How Combs reacted when the judge denied his bail, Sean. Combs' mouth dropped and his eyes widened, it says. Okay, hold on. What's this one? Letter detailing Ventura's feelings may have had an effect on the judge's bail decision, says a legal analyst. I'm sure it did. How could it not, right? Attorney for Don Richard calls Combs' verdict a disappointment. Don Richard's attorney reacted to Sean Diddy Combs' verdict after a jury was found. Today's split verdict is a disappointment, but the criminal charges are different than the civil claims we filed and have been fighting against Sean Combs. We will continue to aggressively fight our case until we obtain full and complete justice for Don. She was one of the 34 witnesses that prosecution called. She was in Danity Kane, if you guys remember. Okay, Combs' attorney tells his supporters he'll get his life back. He says after the judge left the bench, defense attorney Mark Agnifilo, there we go, turned to Sean Diddy Combs' supporters. He told them United States District Court for the Southern District of New York never loses racketeering cases. He told them that Combs showed up and he wasn't afraid. He'll get his life back, he said. Winning is winning. You live your life and you live a good life. Okay, I'm just going to double check, see if there's anything else that's popped up about a stretcher. Let's check this one. Someone not related had a seizure. Was watching CNN and saw it live. Don't think it's related. Okay. Someone not related had a seizure. So it was outside, guys? Yeah, they're not reporting on it on these ones. Let me go check and see if our inner city press has reported on the seizure. Oh, what's happened? Hold on. I got to search for him again. Inner City Press. Diddy bail update number 4. His lawyer files second. Wait, when is this? That's not what we want. We want. Hold on. Where's our live updates? New 30 minutes ago. Oh, here we go. Okay, live tweets. 1 hour ago. Hold on, I'm going to the most recent ones. 28 minutes. Adjourned. No. He's not talking about it either. Definitely it was somebody not involved then. Nobody's reporting on it. We got an update from CNN though. Let's see what they just posted. Oh, it's the Combs telling his family, I love you, and be strong. They just posted about it. And then his attorney saying he'll get his life back. Winning is winning. You live your life and you live a good life, he says. What's in this guy? I bet you it was somebody outside that had a seizure. They're going to have a hearing on July 8th to see if sentencing will be expedited. Yes. Whoop. Oh, no, that's not what we want. Twitter. How did I end up in that? That is not what I wanted. Okay. Oh, I think I clicked the link. That's why. Just a sec, I'm trying to get back to the main page. Oh, you dumb thing. Diddy. Okay, hold on guys, let me grab it. I want my NBC page because it is definitely one of the best ones I've been following today, I'd say. 13 minutes ago? No, we want more recent. Yeah, no updates. Diddy was unjustly accused from the beginning. Glad he's out. He's not out, darling. Get caught up, Tiger. Not unjustly accused and found guilty and denied bail. Can an ambitious state attorney pursue ex-traffic charges for the places he traveled to have the freakouts? I don't think so. I think now that it's done, no, I don't think so. Sorry, I got hiccups. You do know if he goes on the registry, he will get 50-50 law? Oh, someone just said double jeopardy. Yeah. Yeah, I suppose once you're found not guilty, can't be tried again, right? When is the next trial date? Right now, we've got October 3rd as his sentencing hearing, but it's not going to stay that. They're meeting next Tuesday. Is next Tuesday the 8th? It must be. Next Tuesday must be July the 8th. Somebody check the date on that for me. But they're meeting video conference with prosecution, defense, and the judge to go over a new sentencing date, but we don't have it yet. Can the state bring charges? For what? Can they charge KK if she didn't testify? No. Is there a possibility of him getting out on bond? No, they just denied it. His team will probably appeal it, would be my guess. But the judge made it pretty clear it's not happening. Y'all missed the big pick. They raided him to destroy tapes. Diddy knew he was getting off easy. Traded? Oh, Melissa, you've got a conspiracy theory. Melissa is thinking that the feds set this up, raided him to destroy the sex tapes because of who was on them. Is that what you're thinking, Melissa? And that they let him off easy because of it? Yeah, somebody just said, mark your calendar. Make sure you hit follow, guys, because I will definitely be updating on Tuesday when we find out when sentencing's going to be. All I can think about is him probably planning what he was going to do for the 4th of July. Someone just said, I didn't even think of that. Yeah, the big US holiday. We know what he's doing now. I wonder if they'll serve hot dogs and hamburgers or something in prison. I don't know, man. I think jurors were paid off. A lot of people said that. I don't believe it. I'm from Canada too, Shan. Welcome. No one is celebrating the 4th. Nothing to celebrate. Christy, there's lots to celebrate. The U.S. is awesome. I know there's a lot of turmoil and upset right now, but when you look at the big picture, I love the States. I don't go right now because the money, my money, I'm Canadian, guys. If I go to the States right now, my dollar is worth jack. When I go, I'm basically almost paying double. So if something's $1 in the States and I use my money, I have to pay $1.40. Like it's crazy. It's just not worth it for us right now to come down. I know a lot of people won't go because of Trump, but I just can't go because of the money. I can't justify it. I still do sometimes go. I went March break, but what is the problem with the women that made the money? Kevin, what women? What is the problem with the women that made the money? What women do you mean? The women didn't make the money. The male sex workers did. Is that what you mean? Majestic! Mods, thank you for pinning Majestic. How are you, darling? So glad he didn't get bail. Yeah, if you're just joining, guys, Diddy was denied bail today. Guilty on 2 charges, not guilty on the 3 bigger charges, but denied bail. He's going to be in prison until his sentencing hearing or in detention. Majestic, I'm in Ibiza. Do you guys say Ibiza? Ibiza? I say Ibiza. Canadian. What happened if his cellmate doesn't want to be friends with him? I don't even know if he has a cellmate, to be honest. I don't know how that detention center works, guys. It's like a holding cell. I don't know. He's getting plenty of hot dogs in jail for sure. Oh, I walked into that one. And then I read the comment. Yeah. I thought it was 5 years per charge. It was 10 years max per charge. But they don't usually run the 2 charges back to back. They run them together. So it's a max of 10 years. Prosecution's asking for 5. Defense is asking for 2. I played Superstar and thought of you. I love you. And that song. And your mix. He'll be home soon. Possibly. He's got 9 months under his belt. He only will have to serve 80% of his time. So I'm guessing that the judge will probably go with around between 3 and 4 years is my guess, but we'll see. I think there's a racial component to the verdict. Oh, to the verdict's reaction? Do you think? I don't know. I don't know if color played a part in this. I think it's more the actions that took place, right? So once he gets sentenced, he will automatically start that next day, whatever the judge says. So once he's sentenced, they'll probably include time served, like the 9 years he's already, or the 9 years, the 9 months he's already had. They will add that into whatever his sentence gets. Like if he gets 2 years or something like that, the clock starts right then, but it probably will include the 9 months he's already served. And then he'll be moved to whatever prison they're going to have him in. He'll be out of the detention center. He's only in this detention center because he hasn't been sentenced. He's been waiting for court. So he'll be moved somewhere. Somebody said Rikers. I don't know. Have you not been watching the trial and everything that's been exposed? What? That's all I've done is watched the Diddy trial and updated on it. I don't know if that was meant for me or not. Okay. I always wondered. Thanks. Oh, you're welcome, Selena. Thanks for coming in, darling. I don't think there's a racial reaction, but more of a gender divide. Oh, interesting. Yeah. Oh, no, not you. It was for someone else. I thought so, Tanya. Every day he's not in his mansion is a win, someone just said. Why are so many making this racial? The victims were black and Diddy is black. I don't get it. I think they're saying like the reaction to the public. Maybe they're saying people want him in prison because he's black. I'm not sure if that's what they mean or not. Do you think Astroglide prices will come back down? Did they increase? Did they start charging more for Astroglide, the lube that Diddy liked to use? How about baby oil? Has the price gone up in that? Is anybody buying stocks in baby oil once he gets out? Oh, bad jokes. No, I take that back, you guys. I'm sorry. What's happening with the sentencing? The schedule right now is October 3rd, but they're meeting on Tuesday of next week to change that date. They want it moved up. We just don't know when yet. But I will definitely update you guys, so make sure you hit follow. Danny Masterson was sentenced to 30 years. Why is Diddy sentenced so much less? Make it make sense. Here's why. Danny Masterson, I think R. Kelly, they were all charged with sexual assault. Like, their charges are different. Diddy just got charged with transporting for paid sex. They're completely different charges. He didn't get the RICO charge, the racketeering. That would have been at least minimum 15 years. He would have been life in prison. Or the sex trafficking, which again would have been life in prison. He got the two lesser charges. That's why. That's the difference. Is the maximum still 20 years? The max is 10 years per charge. Together would have been 20 years, but they don't run the charges back to back, so it's not going to be 20. It's not about race. We from Harlem, most cases are Hold on. It's not about race. We're from Harlem. Most cases are our community is black. Melissa, do you mean most cases? Wait, I don't know what that meant. You mean most cases are dealing with black people? Is that what you were saying? Sorry, hon. Couldn't read it right. So what he got totally and final, I missed it. Michael, if you're just joining and anyone else, he got 2 counts of guilty, 3 counts of not guilty. The 2 counts of guilty were for transporting for reasons of paid sex. And they have not sentenced him yet. He was refused bail, and sentencing is going to be October 3rd right now on the docket, but they're going to be moving that up. The judge said he was willing to move that up closer if defense wanted, and of course defense does want it. So they're meeting Tuesday over video cam to discuss, and then we're going to find out. Oh, Melissa says yes in that court. Okay, so you're saying that most of the cases in that court are black? Most of the cases that they have? Mods, thank you for pinning that, because I wouldn't have caught that. And Melissa, thank you for sharing too. I thought the jury dropped the heavier charges. They did. So, well, let's go over the charges just quickly, guys. Hold on, I gotta sit back. My legs are going numb from sitting on the couch too long. Okay. The 5 charges, this is what we've got. Count 1 was the RICO charge, racketeering. That's a criminal enterprise, right? Count 2 was for Cassie, I believe. Cassie or Jane. I get them mixed up. I think it was Cassie. Was the trafficking with coercion, fraud, or fear. There's a third one. And that was not guilty. So racketeering was not guilty. The sex trafficking for Jane was not guilty. But the transportation for reasons of paid sex was a guilty charge. And that was for Jane and Cassie. Okay, for both. So there was 2 counts of sex trafficking, 1 for Jane, 1 for Cassie. They were both not guilty. And there was 2 counts of transportation for paid sex with Cassie and Jane. They were guilty. That's all he was found guilty for. And they are the least or the lesser of all the charges for time. He made out like a bandit, someone said. Is he out? Nope. The judge just denied bail. He's back in detention and he's not going anywhere. Jury was 8 men and 4 women. It was. And I believe, I think it was a male that was dismissed. Remember when one of the jurors got dismissed for lying earlier? That was a male and it was replaced with another male. Can he appeal the verdict? Yes, but I don't think he'd want to. Right? He was found not guilty for the major ones. So I don't think he'll appeal. I think he's hoping for a light sentence and we'll see. Do you think 50-50 men and women, it would have been different? Possibly, Selena. I mean, everybody looks at things differently, right? Like their history makes it up, their family background, their experiences, their age, like everything. It's hard to know. It really is. How much time is he looking at? So the defense wants him to have 21 months. Hold on. I'm going to look it up. I'm going to say it wrong if I just say it. I think it's 21 months to 27 months or 29 months. It's basically the defense wants 2 years and the prosecution wants 5 years. Hold on, let me get the right amounts here. 21 to 27 months. I was right. And prosecution wants 51 to 63 months. So 2 years for defense, 5 years for prosecution. It's wild to me. Hasn't he already served a year? Yes, he served 9 months, and that will be taken into consideration too. Let's do a reset. Come on, corrupt as usual. No wonder Trump wants to get rid of the judges in your country. It's a joke. This judge has been fantastic. I'm not sure why you feel that way. Is there any chance he can be free? No. Did they say why they denied bail? Yes. Basically, the judge threw the defense's words back in their face. During closing arguments, the defense went on and on about, how, yes, there was domestic violence. Yes, he was a violent person with a short temper, but that he did not do racketeering and he did not do this. He did not do that. So the judge brought that up. He's like, in your closing statements, you even said he's a violent person with domestic violence. Violence is violence. We're not letting him out. What happened with the drugs? Did they not charge him for that? No, they didn't. You basically have to be caught with it like on you in order to have a drug charge. And I know that they found drugs in his hotel when they arrested him, but I'm pretty sure it has to be like on you, right? Like he could have said like, oh, it's my friends or whatever. And I think drugs was the least of their worries, right? I think that all kind of went into the racketeering RICO charge as well. The drug stuff was all part of that too. Is the prosecution asking for 5 years per count or altogether? Altogether. Weren't the baby oil bottles laced though with some drug? No, everything that was tested had no drugs in it. So no, I think that was just like a rumor going around. He was allegedly drugging drinks is what was going on. And he wasn't drugging people during his freak-offs with his girlfriends. The drugging side of it is being alleged by the civil cases of the people who are saying that he forced himself on, right? The men and women who are saying he laced their drink, they drank whatever drug was in this, the date rape drug or whatever, and then had his way with them. Those are the people saying that. Allegedly, exactly. I hope when he gets out, whenever that is, he retires and goes away. I doubt it. Although we haven't heard a lot from Diddy in the past few years anyway. People who buy their followers, that's what's up. Like who? Diddy, you mean? Diddy was humiliated by rejecting his bail. Free our Black King. Tiger, are you still going off on that in here? Dude, you're trying hard. Curious, now what? Now he's going to be finding out his prison time. I'm guessing between 2 to 5 years is what he's going to get. I worry for Cassie if he gets out. I don't worry about Cassie if he gets out. I think if he wanted something to happen to Cassie, he's going to use the phone and tell someone to do it. Like, he's not going to do it himself. And he can do stuff from prison too, right? Like he doesn't seem to do much of these things on his own. He gets his team and his security to do most of the stuff, right? CNN had stated 10 to 20 years. Where are they getting that from? Because each count was a max of 10 years and the 2 counts together equaled 20 years. The government said, the prosecution said they were going to go for the full 20 years. And then once they weren't as heated, they realized it's not going to work like that. It's really rare for them to run sentences back to back. They usually put it together, which means a max of 10 years. And then they're trying to be realistic when they ask for sentencing. So that's why it's what they're asking for. Everyone has been watching. When he gets out, eyes won't be on him or her. If he gets out, would be scared for everybody. The system's broken. Oh, thanks, Melissa. Yeah, it was super bright for the end of school. I thought the kids would like it. It's very bright. Diddy will be out way before she is saying. Can the judge say more than 5? The judge can say whatever he wants. He could say time served or up to 10 years. Yeah. Yeah, he totally could. All right, guys, I'm going to run. I've been on here so much today. I will download this, though, and I'm going to upload it to my YouTube channel. So please go follow my YouTube channel. Hit plus here first, the little plus button. And then if you click my name, there's that little bell for notifications. If you click that, you'll be notified when I go live. But I am going to upload this to my YouTube. My YouTube channel is The Recap with Julie. It's in the link in my bio on here. If you click my name, go to my page, the link's right there. But you can also just go to YouTube and type in The Recap with Julie and it'll come up. I would love it if you give me a follow there. I will upload this whole live in just a few minutes. And my live from earlier today is already up. Bye, guys. Thank you so much for being in here. And thank you to my mods, as always, for keeping it sane in here. This was quite the day. A ton of information. I will be sure to update with everything that comes out, of course, guys. Thanks, Liz. And upload it to my page with new videos for any new content. So thanks for keeping me company while we heard the bail hearing. And stay tuned for Tuesday with more info. Have a great night, everybody.